A professor explores an ancient cave with miners and unleashes an ancient evil entity. The movie opens in 1856, where we see a couple of miners working in a mine. While working, one of the laborers uncovers a cave and notices a gas leak when his bird dies. They call in a man to check for gas, so he lights up fire on a stick and enters the cave. He notices the hand of a creature and quickly runs out while the gas causes an explosion. The movie now shifts to Morocco, 100 years later, in 1956, where we meet a young man named Amir. Amir and his friend are laborers who are looking for work. They go to the transportation station where a Frenchman is picking laborers for mining in France. Amir and his friends stand in line, but they both don't get selected. So, Amir forcefully stamps himself to get recruited because he needs money. The recruiter admires Amir's bravery and recruits him. Now, at the coal field in northern France, we meet Professor Berthier. The professor meets with Mr. Foissier, the owner of the coal mine, to talk about his project. The professor wants to visit the cave that was discovered 100 years ago in Foissier's mine and collect some samples from there. Foissier refuses Berthier to scavenge the cave because of safety concerns, so Berthier bribes Foissier. Suddenly, they hear an alarm because an incident occurred in the mine. Everyone gathers around as the leader of the laborers, Roland, rescues his co-worker from the accident. The workers reveal Roland single-handedly rescued the injured, so Berthier wants Roland by his side for his expedition. The next day, Foissier calls Roland in his office and informs him about Berthier and his mission. Foissier offers a bonus to Roland and assigns him to lead a team of laborers, including the incoming laborers from Morocco. Amir now arrives at the coal mine, where he meets Santini and Polo. Amir can speak French, so he works with Roland's team, which includes Luis, Miguel, Polo, Santini, and now Amir. Amir now gets to work, and later, he gets hurt. Roland checks on him and deploys him to help out Polo. Polo introduces Amir to his horse, Cartouche, the last horse at the site. The next day, Professor Berthier arrives at the mine and debriefs Roland about the mission. He mentions blowing up the floor in the recently discovered catacomb. The professor now heads down with Roland and his team. Roland orders Miguel to set off explosive charges since he carries them. After blowing a hole on the floor, Roland forces Berthier to head first, because his priority is the safety of his team. Berthier heads down and informs them that the coast is clear, so everyone else follows. Roland reveals 100 years ago, some miners were stuck inside this catacomb due to a gas explosion, and they never got out. These were the men we saw at the beginning of the film. The crew comes across two paths, so they split into two teams. Santini, Luis, and Amir come across the corpse of a laborer. They notice a relic in his hand, and a warning written on the cave walls, mentioning an evil being living in these caves. They come across a dead end, so they return to the other team. They see flashes of light, so Miguel mentions the professor is taking pictures. Roland suspects Berthier, so he forces Berthier to reveal why he's actually here. Berthier mentions an ancient civilization built this place, and he's been studying them for decades. Amir notices writings and symbols on the walls, so Berthier reveals they indicate something ancient is behind the wall, which has precious value, so he wants them to blow the wall. Miguel sets off another charge and blows a hole in the wall. They all head inside and discover stone pillars with carvings on them. Berthier collects samples from the pillars as Amir shows interest in his work. Luis notices a passage, and they all find skeletons with shields and swords. Amir points out a tomb and believes the people were protecting it. Berthier is amazed by this discovery and wants to analyze the tomb with Amir, but Roland wants his team out of here and tells Berthier to bring his own team. Berthier takes more pictures, and they all head back to the starting point. They all see Polo brought in Cartouche with a ramp. They decide to leave, but Cartouche starts panicking and runs away. Suddenly, a landslide occurs and breaks the ramp and blocks their way out. Santini gets trapped under the ramp, so they pull him out, but his leg's broken. They realize they are trapped, and they can't climb that high to plant a dynamite for explosion. Roland sends his team to find an escape route while he mends Santini's wound. Amir heads back to the tomb and comes across Luis, who is hiding there. Luis wants to open the tomb, hoping there are some valuable items inside. Santini is now tied to a piece of the ramp, while Polo, Luis, and Amir are trying to open the tomb. They fail to open the tomb and give up. Meanwhile, Amir notices a slot on the tomb. He realizes the relic they found earlier must fit there, so he places it on the tomb, and it works. The three men lift open the tomb and find gems on top of a dead mummy. They steal the gems for themselves and tell Amir not to mention it to anyone else. Luis beats up Amir, but he manages to run away. Polo now reminds Luis that Santini and his family will need money, so they will share the profit with him. The mummy behind them wakes up as Amir hears Luis and Polo's screams. They both run back to Roland and inform him about the godly deity waking up. Santini points out the deity is behind Polo, and it drags Polo with him. They all run after the creature and find a blood trail that leads to Polo's headless corpse hanging on the wall. Everyone is afraid as Berthier arrives behind them to take pictures of Polo's corpse. Roland is furious at him and tells him to reveal the truth about the creature. Berthier reveals the creature was a god sent from heaven. His sarcophagus was worshipped by the civilization that lived here and even held sacrificial ceremonies for him. But Amir mentions the sarcophagus is actually a prison from the looks of it. Luis mentions they all left Santini behind, strapped, so they rush back to him. Meanwhile, Santini hears a noise and tries to reach the light, but he's tied up, so he reaches for Berthier's camera. He clicks pictures for the camera's light and notices the creature standing in the dark. He takes more pictures as the creature comes closer and attacks him. The crew returns and finds Santini in the arms of the creature, who splits open Santini's stomach and runs away. Santini dies in Roland's arms, so now they decide to trap the creature and blow it with dynamite. Berthier mentions studying the carvings on the pillars again to find another way out. Berthier studies the carvings and compares his notes from his book, while Amir helps him translate. They follow Berthier's directions now and come across a prison cell. Berthier reveals the skeletons were of the volunteers who sacrificed themselves to the creature. They read the creature's name on the prison cell carving, which is Moknoroth, meaning the soul eater. The crew walks in circles and finds themselves back at the tomb, but this time they notice fresh blood on the pillars. The professor heads inside along with Amir and finds Polo's horse inside, butchered by the monster. They notice the monster isn't in the cave, while Berthier sees a lever in the tomb and pulls it, locking himself and Amir inside. Berthier reveals the government will kill him if he gets out with this discovery, so he needs to decode the meaning of the hieroglyphics on the walls. Roland and the crew try to open the tomb while Amir lights up the tomb to translate the symbols with Berthier. They find out that there are 9 other creatures like Moknoroth around the world, and they all can be freed by their master. These creatures are given sacrifices through a well, which Berthier mentioned earlier. The Moknoroth has only one master who frees him, and he will offer him immortality. The professor and Amir translate another sentence and realize there might be another way out. Amir then notices the dead horse moving and sees Moknoroth rising from the horse. Berthier praises Moknoroth and hugs him in hopes of becoming immortal, but Moknoroth crushes his bones and kills him. The crew opens the tomb, and Amir quickly runs outside with Berthier's book. Luis gets into an argument with Amir, so Amir exposes him and reveals he opened the tomb and stole gems. Roland takes his gems for Santini and Polo's family, while Amir mentions figuring out their escape. They continue their search while Moknoroth starts getting out of the tomb. Amir finds more symbols that lead the way, but Luis hears Moknoroth. They shut their lights off to avoid him, but Luis turns the light back on and sees Moknoroth has arrived. Miguel tries to fight it, but Moknoroth slits its throat. Roland tells Amir to run as he fights Moknoroth. Amir manages to escape, and so does Roland. They use Berthier's diary for directions, where Roland mentions Moknoroth took Luis, and only they both remain. Amir confesses it's all his fault, because he unlocked the tomb. Roland wants to escape, but Amir wants to end Moknoroth because he will annihilate the world if he escapes. They both now follow the directions from the diary, but hit a dead end. Roland realizes they should search for the sacrifice well, which can lead them out, but Amir gets snatched by Moknoroth from behind. Roland now searches for the well, while Amir wakes up in Moknoroth's lair. Roland finds the well, while Amir finds a dagger on the ground. He sees Moknoroth sitting on his throne while holding Luis. He rips apart Luis's head, so Amir asks what he wants. Moknoroth uses Luis's head to talk with Amir, and reveals Amir is his master. Moknoroth asks Amir to help him escape, and he will make him an immortal god. Amir realizes he freed him, That's why Moknoroth considers him his master. Ymir hugs him to deceive Moknoroth and stabs his leg. He escapes and finds the well, where Roland is trying to climb it. Roland helps Ymir climb the well, while Ymir hears Moknoroth coming after them. Roland plans to blow up the hole with Miguel's dynamite to kill Moknoroth. Moknoroth starts entering the well, but Roland realizes the detonator key is far behind. Ymir heads down to retrieve the key while Moknoroth is next to them. They both detonate the bomb together, killing Moknoroth along with themselves, and the movie ends here. I hope you liked the story recap. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Thank you for being a part of Black's Movie Recaps. If these tales of mystery and intrigue sent shivers down your spine, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Black's Movie Recap for more bone-chilling narratives. Stay tuned, and until next time, stay captivated.